Charlie Kirk was scheduled to speak at CSU. Of course, he wasn't there, but 10,000 people decided to show up anyway. An incredible moment of defiance and people standing up for the ideas of right-wing conservative Christian values, as right now there is an inner turmoil within the right, specifically arguing about free speech, who is in the right, who is in the wrong, as there's a lot of heat and a lot of anger being directed at individuals like Ron Paul, who believe that they are standing up for the First Amendment. Are they, as the conversation surrounding Jimmy Kimmel gets a little bit more convoluted? There's a lot of disinformation. There's a lot of propaganda, especially being spewed from the corporate media, as I think we need to take a step back and understand the facts of this case in order to make a clear judgment of what's really going on here, as I have my own kind of nuanced take on this issue and my own biases that, of course, I'm willing to, of course, publicly talk about, unlike a lot of other fake people out there in the media that are, of course, purporting to tell the truth, when in reality, a lot of this is just about power. It's about political capital. A lot of people are using that political capital. Or are they using it in the right way? Well, I would even argue that they haven't even used a tiny bit of it compared to what the left has previously done before. Now, we're going to get into it. If you appreciate these type of nuanced, real difficult conversations, subscribe, click the notification button. We greatly appreciate all the time that you spend with us. All of this as, listen, the propaganda ministry of insanity from the leftist, liberal, corporate, CIA-linked, hive mind corporate media are losing their minds, as we have a CNN host now insisting Jimmy Kimmel never said Charlie Kirk's assassin was MAGA. Never happened. Do not believe the evidence in front of your own eyes and ears, the Ministry of Truth told us.
Kimmel appeared to be making a point about alleged finger pointing by the right wing toward the left in the wake of Kirk's assassination. What he said did not appear to suggest that the suspect was a MAGA shooter.
What? Are you slow? Are you special? This is what Jimmy Kimmel said.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing
anything other than one of them.
Everything they can to score political points.
Oh, yeah. Anything other than... Really? Really? The left is now lecturing us about using tragedies to score political points? They're great at it. Let's just be real with ourselves. They're really handy with it, as clearly Jimmy Kimmel's conversations didn't help anyone. It obfuscated personal responsibility, justice, and having a true, honest form of conversation, as now many liberals are still believing that the person who took out a right-wing media figure was a right-winger for some reason, defunking and destroying the future of the Republican political party, as now people are saying Jimmy Kimmel was the moderate position. No, he wasn't. He was literally obfuscating and talking about some blue and insane conspiracy theory nonsense that made sure that the killing of Charlie Kirk was excused, when in reality, the personal political party that has been escalating situations doesn't want to burden any kind of responsibility for it at all, which is ridiculous. And there's a lot of hypocrisies here. And now enters Ron Paul, who came out in a video. I want to play a portion of this video as him and Daniel McAdams, who I both know and I both highly respect, came out and made a video saying, if Democrat cancel culture was wrong, how can Republican cancel culture be right?
Well, everyone's talking about the apparent firing of Jimmy Kimmel. If we can put that first clip on, this is from Politico, Dr. Paul. We both read this morning. As you say, Disney pulls Jimmy Kimmel live indefinitely following Kirk comments. Now go to the next one. This is what he did that got him into so much trouble. Disney said Wednesday it would indefinitely, since the first time as so much of the country was mourning the shooting of Kirk. But the wrinkle in this was the role of the U.S. government. Now, if you go to that next one, you'll...
Now, the role of the U.S. government, especially with the FCC, is still a little bit more convoluted. It's not really that well explained, to be quite honest. We still don't know if it was ABC executives or if it was actual pressure from the government.
No better. If it was wrong when they did it, then how is it right when you're doing it back to them? And I think Trump partially gets it because he referred several times to the miserable ratings that Kimmel's show has. And he also did that with Colbert. He mentioned the miserable ratings. Well, that's how you solve the problem. Don't watch the show. Because if you don't watch the show, they can't pay the guy's salary, and he's yanked off the air.
So does his government lose these things for getting rid of them through force and power?
Yeah, just don't watch
We're
it.
going to deny the money. But I saw this similarly in when it came to the universities and some over the foreign policy issues. They'd have speakers that the administration didn't like.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll take your money away. Well, why did you ever have it in the first place?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
But that's not the way they think about it. They want to guide it. Some of them are doing it, I think, for political power.
Oh, well, yeah. It is political power. Let's just not fool ourselves here. Now, has the Trump administration been the best when it comes to the First Amendment? No, especially with some of the things that they are doing, especially when it comes to criticism of a particular
Everyone's talking about the fire
of a particular government, and especially when it comes to now Pam Bondi talking about hate speech laws. But now that is being met with the likes of Tucker Carlson, myself, and others saying, you implement hate speech laws, we're going to do massive amounts of civil disobedience in order to fight it in the courts, in order to dispel this nonsense which violates the First Amendment. Now, is this a violation of First Amendment? We're going to try to answer that in a little bit by looking at the facts of the particular case here and then making up our own judgment, making up our own mind here. But there's a lot of people criticizing and attacking now Ron Paul and Daniel McAdams, and we'll go into those arguments in a little bit. As, of course, we got to understand here, there's also another aspect here regarding Charlie Kirk that is really interesting. But anyway, before getting into that, we wanted to remind you to sign up to LukeUnfiltered.com. We don't have mega donors. We don't have mega corporations. We have you. You being like, hey, am I going to go support the Starbucks latte drinking blue armpit hair people? Or am I going to make coffee at home one day and just support LukeUnfiltered.com with 20 cents a day, $8 a month? That's all it takes. And it means the world to us. It's not a lot of money. But if you have money and you don't know what to do with it, bada bing, bada boom. Support independent media. We're going to work very hard towards expanding, growing, improving everything that we're doing here. There's going to be a major new project that we're going to be launching. It's a surprise project in early November. So stay tuned for that. Early November is really when we are going to be taking things up a notch here. So stay tuned for that and an exciting new kind of program. So make sure to subscribe, click the notification, but also just check out LukeUnfiltered.com. You get access to me one-on-one in the Telegram chat. I talk to you guys all the time. The chat is awesome. Yesterday, someone was like, hey, your site, your We Are Change.shop's not working. I'm like, oh, man, thank you. Right away. I saw it because I have all my notifications on. I saw it, fixed it right away. The person was trying to make a transaction, couldn't make a transaction because we had some kind of problem. He told me about it, fixed it right away, and that's the type of communication that, of course, is prioritized with LukeUnfiltered.com. We appreciate all of your time and energy, and I am internally grateful and gratitude. There should be another word for gratitude. Whatever that is, I feel it, and I am humbled by your support. And it means the world to me to be able to do this as a job. So, and I take it very seriously. And as you can see here, we've been working overtime 7 days a week. I haven't taken a vacation in many years now, and I probably never will. But anyway, let's get back to the facts of this case here. Now, listen, main reason why a lot of people on the right just don't care. Don't even care. Oh, FCC is involved here. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Because we have to remember, just a few months ago, about like 4 years ago, the president of the United States was literally banned on all social media platforms. And on platforms like the one you're watching now, you couldn't even play clips of Donald Trump. You couldn't even talk about Donald Trump on this platform, right? There was individuals that were fired from their jobs for donating $25 to Kyle Rittenhouse. Things that were cheered on by David Pakman, who are now clutching their pearls, being like, oh no, we have to fight for free speech. Yeah, okay, you didn't give a damn about free speech, okay? All right, and listen, we've been beat down so much, and people are, and Ron Paul's making the argument, you don't want to become like them. We're living in a type of new scenario where, listen, when they unfairly cheat and they beat you down and then destroy your ability to speak, the right wants vengeance. right? And that's clearly what a lot of people are prioritizing. I saw someone said, if you voted for Trump for free speech, you were voted for the wrong guy. No, a lot of people voted for Donald Trump because of vengeance. Because they knew he got shot at. They knew he was facing 700 years in jail. They knew he got censored. And they knew he would take the gloves off. Some instances he is, some instances he's not. He's protecting some of the swamp. He's fighting some of the swamp. It's a convoluted, complicated situation. But overwhelmingly, when we have David Pakman talking about, oh, yeah, big win. When we got Roseanne fired from ABC, she made a joke that offended people. Fire her, good. And now you have that same person. Oh no, people are being fired. You're ridiculous. And I do not care, and I will not be standing up for you. I will not be fighting alongside you because we're fighting in a platform, we're fighting in a culture, we're fighting in a landscape that you created. You created this type of reality where now people have to watch their speech, watch what they say, watch what they comment. I don't want to live in that type of reality. Now, granted, listen, my nuanced kind of perspective on this, if this was ABC executives on their own making this decision, good. There's some circumstantial evidence highlighting how it was the FCC. Do I want the FCC getting involved? No. Will I care? Will I fight for these people that cheered on cancel culture and are now dealing with the results of cancel culture? No, I see it as karmic. Do I want the FCC doing it? No. It's pretty clear. Will this be a major battle for me? No. Why? Because these people are disgusting, deplorable, and have been calling for this to happen. And when it happened to their political opponents, they cheered and celebrated and had the times of their lives. Now, a couple things to distinguish here from all of this, right? I mean, listen, the fact that so many political pundits, so many people were destroyed for expressing political opinions. Now, Jimmy Kimmel, who is obfuscating, lying, and some would even say, I don't go that far, but some on the right are saying aiding and abetting this kind of left-wing terrorism of the right. When they go that far and they lie knowingly, I mean, listen, there's like fact checkers, there's script writers, there's hundreds of people working on the show. A lot of people argue these shows are overbloated. They get very little ratings. And a lot of people say, listen, when you knowingly spread fake news, you should be held accountable. I don't like those arguments, right? Because there's a lot of leeway there to be like, oh, but no, the government says this is the universal truth. You better say this is the universal truth. The very fact is we still are getting little tidbits of information. The authorities aren't doing their best of job, in my opinion, when it comes to the handling of this particular case here, which allows the spread of these conspiracies. That's why I called for transparency from the federal government to deal with this case as best as they could, so we don't have to deal with a lot of these conspiracies. As Tim Pool says, Colbert went on his show and lied, claiming Jimmy got pulled because of the FCC instead of pressure from executives, which is what everyone is reporting. These people are effing scumbags. Yep, Stephen Colbert, another person. Now we're also finding out Jimmy Kimmel was only getting 129,000 viewers. Yep. Advertisers, 18 to 49 demo, averaged 129,000 viewers in that bracket in August. Now, August, not a lot of people are on TV. A lot of people are outside. So, yeah, that's the kind of lowest time. But this is people from 18 to 49. Now, of course, there's a lot of older viewers here. Let's just be honest here. But in the peak kind of demo here, the advertiser coveted demo, his show wasn't doing that well. And he had hundreds of people working on it. Now, Hollywood and Toto.com has interesting things to talk about this that I think are related to this. Now, he talks about how the media is on a war footing over the suspension. Yeah, a lot of people are just spreading fake news like CNN, Stephen Colbert, and they're angry and they're using this as their kind of rallying call. Now, I think it's up to a lot of the ABC executives to talk about what actually happened here. Was it the FCC? Now, the FCC comments weren't the best here, especially on the Benny Johnson show where we had the FCC chairman saying we could do this the hard way or the easy way. I mean, that's pretty evident that there was kind of sort of pressure there. Now, was that the exact pressure that made ABC News kind of press this? I mean, there's also a lot of lawsuits. Donald Trump is suing the New York Times for billions of dollars. He's suing the Washington Post over the Epstein birthday card. He sued other media organization and has won. Would Donald Trump was it Donald Trump's call or was it the FCC's chair's call? I want to know, just personally. And if it is, I don't think it's the right way the government should use it. Am I going to be pissed off? Is there a principled argument to make here? Sure. But am I really going to be fighting for the people that created this landscape, that wanted this, that called for this, that celebrated this? No. Listen, the left crying about censorship, save me. You're filled with hypocrites. This isn't cancel culture. Now, cancel culture, created by the left, cheered, loved, engineered, programmed, right? Specifically, had big intel agencies and big government and the Biden administration going to social media companies and saying, look, Bob Smell My Feet 49 here said that the coof came from the coof laboratory and not from a random Chinaman sucking down a pangolin down his throat. You got to destroy his life and you got to debank him and you have to make sure that he doesn't have a voice. Can you do that for me? Can you destroy his life and destroy his footprint on the internet? Good, thank you. And social media companies did it. And in some ways, they're still doing it. TikTok just banned a whole bunch of people. Can you guess for what? And I don't like that either. And that's under this administration. And I don't like that either. But this is the landscape that we're living in. And many people on the right are arguing, look, they did it, now it's our turn. And this is all about political power. There are people living in a bubble. And there's a lot of things that I think we could take away from this particular conversations. Now, a lot of people are also adding the nuanced conversation saying, look, it wasn't because of an FCC conspiracy. It's because the dude didn't have any audience. Other people are saying he violated FCC rules as you need a license to be on air. And that license specifically makes it so you cannot broadcast false information for public harm. And people are arguing that, when you're arguing that the left wasn't responsible, you're creating more public harm since you're not really having a conversation on the violent tendencies of the left here. And they're using these kind of very vague generalizations here. Now, do I believe Jimmy Kimmel knowingly was lying? Yeah, I think he was. Clint Russell also has this type of point of view like I do. He's like, if it's the company, fine. If it's Trump, FCC, no, stop it. But whatever, I don't care. And I think that's why a lot of people are saying, hey, there's a time for principles and there's a time for political power. And a lot of people are arguing this is the time for political power. Jeremy Kaufman says, I'm ready for Ron Paul, quote, to stop talking. Paul was an incredible man, but he's living 50 years in the past, describing this. And Jeremy Kaufman goes on, quote, this is one of the few times I've thought Ron Paul got something wrong ever. No one's perfect. Libertarians aren't going to achieve their desired ends by replacing the peace and love strategy of 20 years ago. America has changed. It is. And it is an extremely politically partisan place where the left overwhelmingly is kicking the right when they're down. The right is up, the left is down. Trump maybe, we don't even know if it's clear, gave a kick to the left. And overwhelmingly people on the sidelines are like, good, kick him again, kick him. Now, we should have a fair game. But the left literally is throwing sand in your eyes, right? When they got the ball, they're cheating and they're going to score. And people are saying, we can't just be the good guys and get clobbered and obliterated here in the public sphere of debate and conversations. Now, how will this kind of translate here? First of all, taking a step back from this argument, hate speech laws are stupid and insane. The thing that I'm more concerned about, the things that I'm willing to fight about, is criticisms of a country's foreign policy in the Middle East that we can't criticize, right? That, I would say, is the major key issue here that I care a little bit more about. Daniel McAdams, who retweeted the Libertarian Party, says, very disappointing to see this. The clip was about the state using its power to silence the talk show host it did not like. If you support that kind of thing, perhaps you need to change the name of your party because there's nothing libertarian in that position. And again, I get it. Is this really the time? Natalie says here, no one banned Jimmy Kimmel for every major social media app. That happened to Trump. No one considered to put Jimmy Kimmel in jail. That happened to Trump. No one fired a bullet at Jimmy Kimmel. That happened to Trump and Charlie. What happened to Kimmel is that his corporate employers decided he was no longer a profitable figurehead for its product's distribution over the public airwaves. That's it. Is that what happened here? I don't know. Libertarian Party. Disappointing to see Ron Paul suggesting libertarians play by the rules by their opponents won't play by. That's the argument that's being made here. This is why libertarians are consistently doormats. Now, do we just take the reins of political power and just kind of run with it? I don't know. Listen, a lot of people are saying Ron Paul's wrong. I might not share his kind of sentiments. I don't think he is. It is interesting that Ron Paul still keeps asking questions, which I think is good. Ron Paul came out and said, we don't know the real story about what happened to Charlie Kirk. So far, we don't. The authorities did a very poor job. Charlie Kirk was recommending Ron Paul as the next chairman of the Federal Reserve. I don't think that's going to happen. I wish it did. There are still a lot of other kind of crazy people out there wishing death and harm. And am I going to say, yeah, you have the right to incite violence and hurt people and lie and use political power to destroy your political opponent? No. Should there be consequences for people's deranged, insane actions? Yeah. Should the state do it? No. But the free market will figure itself out. Was this a free market? Was this the FCC? What do you think? If you think it's a free market, press 1. If you think it's the FCC, press 2 down in the comment section below. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate humbly you guys joining LukeUnfiltered.com, talking to me directly on the Telegram channel. I want to be here for you guys doing that, and that's why I try to end every single broadcast by saying thank you so much, beautiful and amazing human beings. Stay tuned for more, all here exclusively on YouTube.com/WeAreChange.